Ms. Dominguez says Mr. Acevedo has gambled too much with her heart and their money. She says she's been trying to hold him, but it's finally time to fold him. Today on Divorce Court.
All rise. The Honorable Judge starts presiding.
Hello, everyone. You may be seated.
Your Honor, the case of Dominguez v. Acevedo.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dominguez and Mr. Acevedo. Thank you very much for joining me at Divorce Court, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This is a young couple who are looking to get married. They have already invested so much in this relationship, both emotionally and financially. Let's see if they're going to walk down the aisle. Ms. Dominguez, why are we in Divorce Court?
Your Honor, we are here today because me and Joshua have been together for 8 years. We have a property together, dogs, cars, planning a whole future together. But recently, he's been very disrespectful. He's been gambling and losing all the money we have. And on top of that, I caught messages of him cheating. The reason I'm here today is because I want to take a lie detector test, and if it shows positive, I will be calling off the engagement.
So you actually mean you want him to take a lie detector test? Mr. Acevedo, you heard what your fiancé said. What do you say?
I say that I'm here today because she's my high school sweetheart. I see a future with this woman. I want her to be my wife. I want her to be the mother of my kids. And I know there's a bunch of bumps and bruises along the road, but she wants to get an 8-year relationship and throw it out all in one day. And I don't agree with that. I'm here to save this relationship.
You all are 22 and 23 years old, which means if you've been together for 8 years, you've been together since you were 14 years old and 15 years old?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that was high school sweethearts. That was actually middle school sweethearts.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? So you all been together since you were playing in the dirt, for all practical purposes. That's a lot, and that's a lot to invest in a relationship. And I see that you've been engaged for 6 months, so you decided to take it to the next level.
Yes.
So I know how you met, clearly, because you met in school.
Yes.
But you started to make adult decisions, and one of those decisions had to do with buying a property together.
Correct.
Why don't you tell me about that?
Yes, so we bought our property 2 years ago. We were 20, 21, and on closing day, we were very happy. I brought a picture to show you. That
I'd
was
like
one.
to see that. Ah, you closed on your house together.
Yes,
And did everybody save for the down payment?
it was him.
So, Mr. Acevedo, you stepped up and you came up with the down payment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, absolutely. And what was the agreement?
So the agreement before closing day was that he was going to take over the mortgage, which was $2,800, and any additional, utilities or anything extra. And I was only putting in $1,000.
Was
From
that
the-
the agreement for you, Mr. Acevedo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
From there on, eventually everything started going down south. He started going gambling 1 day out of the week, eventually turned into 2 to the whole weekend being away, not coming home. And he started coming home losing hundreds to even thousands at one point.
No. So, Mr. Acevedo, I complimented you on stepping up. Do you have that kind of money? Is your uncle named Jeff Bezos or something that you can go and gamble thousands of dollars away, sir?
No, Your Honor. But I am a firm believer in the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So.
And I'm a firm believer in the house always wins when you're gambling. So your plan that needs to be a recreation rather than a vocation. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's a lot of money. How much money are you estimating that he's been spending?
Well, for the past year, he's been spending over $14,000, which has come out of my savings to pay the mortgage and all the bills.
Wait a minute, I thought Mr. Acevedo said he was paying the mortgage.
He can't pay it. He's wasting it all gambling away.
I have a note here that says you've had to pay the mortgage 5 times by yourself?
Yes.
Mr. Acevedo, tag you're it. What's that about, sir?
That's what partners are for, right? To pick you up when you're down.
Why were you down, though? I mean, did you lose your job?
No, I mean, I was losing all my money gambling. It was a rough couple of months, you know?
That's not called being down. That's called being stupid. No, that's not being down. Down is you got downsized at the job and they laid people off and you happen to be low man on the totem pole. That's down. Then she's supposed to try to help you out and hold you up. Down is not, I went to the casino and I blew $14,000. That's not down. That's not down, sir. Now, In all honesty, I would not be yelling at you if you were making that kind of money and you had not made a commitment and a financial investment. I would not be yelling at you one way or the other because you're young and you are allowed to make silly decisions. But silly decisions have silly consequences. And how much do you estimate that you've lost in the last 6 months? Because you've been engaged for 6 months.
$14,000 is literally all I had. I'm down to zero. I have nothing more.
I am so proud of the fact that a 22-year-old has saved $14,000 and you were ready. So, Mr. Acevedo, how would you be planning to make her whole? Because that's a lot of money.
You know, she knows I'm a hardworking man, Your Honor. She knows I've always been a go-getter. And, you know, I shouldn't feel she should let go and she should have faith in me. You know, like you said, Your Honor, I am young. I am going to make mistakes. But it's all about if I learn from the mistakes.
If Miss Dominguez stops paying that mortgage, you know what's going to happen? They're going to foreclose. Right. And if they foreclose, how much do you owe on the house now?
Like 3-something.
You know what's going to happen?
300-something.
The bank's going to sell that house. They're going to get as much as they can of that 300. You're going to be left with nothing. You put money down for the down payment, am I right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So whatever that $10,000 to $30,000 was that you put down is gone because you're not going to get that back. And the money that you, Ms. Dominguez, have been putting in, that $2,800 a month, you're not going to get it back. That's what silly decisions cost you. And something tells me you don't have $2,800 a month to put out.
I don't.
Mr. Acevedo, what's your plan?
Like I said before, Your Honor, I'm a hardworking man, and I'm not going to let the relationship slip away from me, nor the property we own together.
And I don't want you to commit any kind of nefarious stuff in order to get no money. I want you to be that hardworking man that we talked about. I understand that you have been working, this is your family's business, you've been working with your family, so you actually have a good opportunity to have a good foundation for a family, but you've been making really bad decisions. It's time for you to step up, young man. It's time for you to step up. Why don't you trust him?
I had caught messages of his friends telling him, hey, the girl at the bar wants to come see you again. We should hang out again tonight. We're young. Let's have fun.
My fiancé was mad at me, giving, you know, no more cooked meals. She had me sleeping on the couch, you know.
You're not going to get wifely responsibilities if you're going to be with Lottie Dottie and everybody tell Lottie to cook you a meal. And you're concerned, Ms. Dominguez, that in addition to financially irresponsible, that there's some trust and tribulations in the relationship. Am I correct?
Correct.
Why don't you trust him?
Recently, he went out with his friend to the bar. We never go alone, nowhere. But there's one thing, he's like, I'm going alone because I'm going with my boy. Okay, I understand privacy, you know. But that day, he came home acting super weird, and I had caught messages of his friends telling him, hey, the girl at the bar wants to come see you again. We should hang out again tonight. We're young. Let's have fun. Like, you don't need to be settled down, tied down. So when I confront him, he tells me he sent it to the wrong person.
Mr. Acevedo.
Honestly, Your Honor, that's what I believe because, I mean, when I was at the bar, he did tell me that, okay, the waiter has a crush on you, but I was just going about my business, you know. I didn't.
You didn't reciprocate?
No, I did not reciprocate, not 1%, Your Honor. No.
So here's my question. Why are you hanging out with somebody that is not respectful of the kind of young man you want to be? Let me ask you that. Because, see, I'm presuming you want to be a good dude. You see how I just gave you the benefit of the doubt? I didn't put that on you. I put that on him. Why are you hanging out with somebody that doesn't have the same commitment that you do?
I understand that, Your Honor. I've known him since 10 years. We're, you know, one of my first best friends. And I understand he may not understand what it's like because he's not in a relationship himself. And it did rub me the wrong way how, you know, he kind of sent me that message knowing I didn't do anything with that woman from the bar. And, you know, it gave me a hard time. She, you know, my fiancé was mad at me, giving, you know, no more cooked meals. She had me sleeping on the couch, you know. Yeah,
because if you're going to act like a boyfriend, I'm going to treat you like a girlfriend. You're not going to get wifely responsibilities if you're going to be with Lottie Dottie and everybody tell Lottie to cook you a meal. Okay? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what happens when you're ready to be in a mature relationship. Now, mind you, my spidey sense is saying that's something that a 23-year-old should do, go out and flirt. Y'all are so new and young in relationship. You haven't even given yourself time to see if this is for the long term. So those kinds of things are going to be thrown in your face. And Mr. Dominguez, by the way, you have every right to respect fidelity, but y'all are so young. You are pushing so quickly. And these are the kinds of things that you're going to be facing as you mature.
I had a gut feeling, let me go through his phone when he fell asleep. This one was hearts. When can I meet you? Today for lunch during work.
Now at least I know why there's some suspicions.
I just want the lie detector results.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarbrough. Have you had any sexual contact with anyone other than your fiancé?
The polygraph examination results indicated.
Mr. Dominguez, you've been concerned about something else.
Yes, because...
Wait, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Objection.
What happened on this lunch date situation? Because I understand that's what made you suspicious.
So every day we always talk during lunchtime. On FaceTime while he's at work, or I'm home, or I'm handling some clients myself. We always find the time to talk during lunchtime. And there's one day I was calling and calling and calling. He was not answering. I thought something was going on because it was out of the normal. So the day goes by, he comes home, and I had a gut feeling, let me go through his phone when he fell asleep. So I go through the phone.
That's what young people do.
I went through the phone, and it was weird because there was something deleted in his messages. So I ended up recovering the messages, and the number's not saved, but I'm noticing that I've seen his messages before with numbers that aren't saved. I just see tire numbers, and that's about it. This one was hard eyes, hearts. When can I meet you? Today for lunch during work. Oh, this. Oh, you're so beautiful.
Back and forth messages?
Back and forth messages. So when I confront him...
I don't remember that, Your Honor. I didn't say we go meet. No, it was just a heart emoji.
No.
Your Honor, I sent heart emojis to everyone. It was not a big deal.
How about a thumbs up emoji? How about a check mark emoji? What's a heart emoji? Isn't that usually reserved for the person that has your heart? Come on, Mr. Acevedo. What you talking about?
Your Honor, it was a purple heart. I mean, you know.
Now at least I know why there's some suspicions. And I think that's one of the reasons why you agreed to do a polygraph examination, so that you all can start from a foundation of trust where you can put her suspicions to the side. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I just want the lie detector results.
So at least let's try to get you some of the answers that you have requested. Would you ask the expert to join us?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Sir.
Good day, Your Honor.
Good day, Mr. Yarbrough. Please introduce yourself for the court.
Certainly. My name is John Yarbrough. I'm a certified polygraph examiner, also a member of the American Polygraph Association. I've conducted hundreds of polygraphs for numerous law enforcement and other public safety agencies across the state, as well as professional and private polygraphs.
I asked you to put 3 questions to Mr. Acevedo. Specifically, question 1, we asked Mr. Acevedo, did you have sexual contact with that person your friend was texting you about meeting at the bar the previous night?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Acevedo's answer?
He answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated no deception indicated to that question, Your Honor.
Okay.
Told you.
We're gonna see.
The second question. We asked Mr. Acevedo, did you have sexual contact with that person you took to lunch that you stated was a client?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Acevedo's answer?
He answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated there was no deception indicated to that question as well.
So he told the truth in both of those instances, am I correct?
He was being truthful when he answered those 2 questions, Your Honor.
There was a third question. We asked Mr. Acevedo, since purchasing a home together, have you had any sexual contact with anyone other than your fiancé?
That is correct, Your Honor.
What was Mr. Acevedo's answer?
He answered no.
And what did the test results indicate?
The polygraph examination results indicated no deception indicated.
What did I tell you? Let's go. I don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. I don't waste my time lying. You know.
Ms. Dominguez. I think you owe Mr. Acevedo an apology.
Please.
I'm sorry, the jury today is made up of aunties, clearly. Okay? Because the aunties is, yes, the aunties have spoken.
I'm sorry for not trusting you.
I accept your apology. This is why we're here.
Mr. Yarbrough, your work here is done. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
But Ms. Dominguez, you've been concerned about something else.
Yes, Your Honor. Even though the results came out negative and he hasn't been lying to me, I hate that we had to come here and get the answers I wanted. I'm late on my period, so I believe I'm pregnant because...
Wait, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Objection. Weren't you on birth control?
I was on birth control, but I had to stop due to hormonal acne and I was gaining weight.
Wait, but you never told me this. You never told me you got off birth control. That would have been, kind of good to tell me.
It's been recently, it's been not even 2 months yet. And as soon as I stopped, I realized that I've been late for almost 2 months. And we've had conversations before about having a child, and I know that he hasn't been on go for it at the moment. So I don't know if this is a deal breaker for him.
We've been talking about Mr. Acevedo's truthfulness and faithfulness and honesty. And it seems as if we might needed to talk a little bit about yours. But we're here now. And you asked this court to administer a pregnancy test.
Yes.
I'd like to see the results.
Yes, Your Honor.
The foundation of every relationship is trust. Ms. Dominguez, you mentioned that you might be pregnant. You took a pregnancy test before coming into my courtroom today, and I have the results. The test came back negative. You are not pregnant with Mr. Acevedo's baby.
Okay.
I saw a sigh of relief.
And, Your Honor, a sigh of relief is not to say that if she was pregnant, that I would be a giver-upper and, just neglect the baby, but I want things to happen, accordingly to our plan. I just believe right now is not the time.
Ms. Dominguez, I gotta tell you something. I'm liking your fiancé a whole heck of a lot more right now because the stupid decisions that he made earlier, this is one that makes complete good sense to me. Yes. Okay, and the aunties agree. Okay? Is you came in here and gave me chapter and verse while you all were having issues, and by the way, those are serious issues. And bringing a baby into a chaotic situation when you have not figured out who you are is not a good idea. I don't know what anybody's told you, but a baby does not fix problems. It creates an additional problem if you're not ready. And Mr. Acevedo, I think you're too young to be getting married. And I would like to order premarital counseling where you can sit down and learn communication style. Because I think you got that love thing down, but you don't have that communication thing down, and that leads to the arguments that you've had, it leads to the mistrust, it leads to the irresponsibility, and it could lead to an unwanted pregnancy. You dodged a bullet today. So if you don't want to practice birth control and change your hormones, that's one thing. But you know exactly what you need to do from now on. And because I know that y'all are not breaking up, go to Costco and get that 48 pack, okay? That's my verdict.
Moving forward, we should definitely, take the counseling that Judge Star Jones, recommended for us, and I believe it'll work out. We just need to communicate more.
Ever since we bought the house, there's been a lot of stress on us, and I just feel like, we needed this to move forward and make us stronger.
Definitely.
Made in Georgia.